Fuck, okay, I'm making a video now. So for those who don't know, I lived in Korea for about 1 year. No, that's 2 fingers, 1 year. And living in Korea, it was the best time of my life. And I had a whole new group of friends, which I hope they still remember me. But it was just an amazing time for me. When I first went there, it was pretty much a YOLO moment. I was just kind of like, oh shit, I'm going. Oh, okay, let's go. And then I kind of went. And then I was contracted for like 6 months, but then I loved it so much. So I stayed for the whole year. And before moving, I kind of wish I knew a couple of things beforehand. So we're gonna go through that today. Look at my nostrils flare. Okay. All right, starting at number 1. I wish I knew Korean, deadass. Like I wish I knew the language before going, because honestly, when you arrive in Korea, nobody speaks with subtitles. So you're just kind of like, oh. 안녕하세요. Hello입니다. Yeah. For number 2, I wish I knew how fucking wild the drinking culture in Korea is. Like, it's they go hard, like fucking hard. It was this one time after dance class with my friend Cheshire Ha. Low-key, she's a little famous choreographer for Blackpink, Lisa. Shout out to her. And we were all gonna get food and then drink after dance class. We went to one of those drinking bars, like similar to like a Japanese izakaya, but Korean. And we started drinking. We played a lot of drinking games, like I don't know what it's called, but it's a game. And there's just so many drinking games, and you're constantly drinking, you're constantly eating, and it was just a great time. And I thought we were done, but Cheshire's like, no, Kevin, round 2. And I'm like, what? I gotta go home. And then we ended up going to the club. But by the time we were done from the izakaya bar, I was so fucked up. I was just like, bro, I can't even walk straight. And we went to the club and everyone was just dancing, and you know, we were all in a circle just. And then I told my friends, I'm gonna go sit down a little bit, I gotta chill. I went down to a table, and then there were other people also by the table, right? But you know, they were like trying to, yeah. And I just wanted to chill, so I, you know, sit down, and then I'm like, I don't feel so good. So I lean over, I push the table because I couldn't help it, and then I hurled so much in the club under a table. And I was just looking at it like, oh shit. So I got up, pulled the table back, and then I went back to my friends like nothing ever happened. After the club, I had to throw up a little bit more, but then when Cheshire saw, I was like, I'm okay. And then she's like, ah, Kevin, okay. And then yeah, I got on a bus and then I went home. Gosh, I was not prepared. Another thing about the drinking culture in Korea is that soju is so freaking cheap. Like, it's cheaper than water here. And because of how popular it is, everyone's just constantly drinking it. People go from like freaking midnight all the way till 6 a.m. And then they'll be like, okay, it's 6, the sun's rising, let's get some hangover soup and then go home. Talking about soju kind of made me want to get some. Actually, I'm just kidding. I'm a holy child of God. For number 3, I wish I knew how different the hookup culture was in Korea, because like this one time I met this girl off of a language exchange app, and then you know, when like things got a little frisky, got a little touchy, we ended up hooking up. However, in North America, girls are a little bit more assertive sometimes. It's kind of like if you don't initiate anything, they're just gonna like lay there like a starfish. Which is, I mean, like some people are into it, so you know, it's fine. But it's just from my experience and from the people that I've hooked up with over there has all been like that. I'm not generalizing, I'm just saying it's like a thing that I've experienced. No. There was this one time when we were making out, you know, she was like kissing my neck, she was like, you know, rubbing my body. And then she went from like kissing my chest to my neck to my ear. She started like digging her tongue inside my ear, and I was like, I was like, what the fuck? And then I just kind of lied there and I just took it, and I was like, oh, interesting. It kind of almost feels like a wet willy, but continuously. Anyways, that was just one really different thing that I experienced. Moving on. For number 4, I was very surprised at how openly expressive a lot of people are in Korea. From my experience, Korean culture is very conservative. However, when people start drinking and everyone's just vibing, people talk a lot and they communicate a lot of the times by like shouting to each other, and it's a very openly expressive community over there. Number 5, another thing that I wish I knew was how sensitive people were to time over there. Because when you like make plans with someone and then you say you're gonna meet them at this time, almost all of the time people are gonna meet exactly on the dot. Even with the subway and the buses, they're always on schedule, nothing's ever late. But unlike North America, you're gonna like meet a friend. Hey dude, see you in 20 minutes. 1 hour goes by. Oh wait, I'm 5 minutes away. Another 10 minutes go by. Oh, 2 minutes left. Oh hey man, what's up? You know, it's like the difference in how people respect time is very different in North America and Korea. This one time though, I was gonna meet my friend for like a dance choreography session together with her, and I ended up being really late, and she got so mad at me, which is totally understandable because I didn't respect her time, but I just felt so bad. Like she was just texting me like, oh, I shouldn't have even bothered with you. Don't even come anymore. Like really mean things because I was late, and then I felt so bad, and then I started crying. Here's a little clip.
Okay,
I think I'm done being sad.
you have to clean it up.
Stop!
Don't cry.
Stop! I'm not crying.
You're crying.
I need to drink some water.
Your tears coming.
Maybe I drank too much water today.
Tears
It's coming out of my eyes. And then we ended up making up, so it was okay. Ooh. Hello. Number 6, the soap. This one's just weird because at train stations, there's like a soap that hangs out of a wall like this, like it's a bar soap, and then there's like a iron rod attached to it, and the wall's like right here, and then you know there's a sink down here, and when you're washing your hands and you need some soap, this is how you get the soap. And it just feels like I'm jerking off another dude. It was just so weird because like every time I was like washing my hands and like I needed to use a soap, it was just a little uncomfortable. Number 7, nightlife. One thing I didn't know was that in Korea, dancers there, they have midnight rehearsals, and they would like, you know, go to their day job, go to school or whatever, and then they would have dance practice from like freaking midnight to like 3 or 4 or 5 a.m. This one time I was with like a showcase rehearsal group, and we only had practices at midnight, and where I live was like 2 hours away, so I'd have to, after work, I'd go all the way to Seoul and then have my dance practice, and I'd come back in the morning and then I would have work. But it wasn't like every day type of thing, it was like a once a week thing. Korea is always busy wherever you go. If it's past midnight, there's always going to be somewhere open. Well, in Seoul, I can't speak for the other parts, but in Seoul, yeah, it's super busy at night. Number 8, racism. Unfortunately, racism is very real in Korea. In Seoul, you know, it's like, it's fine because there's a lot of foreigners. However, in the countrysides, in like out of town, smaller cities, older people, they are very discriminative, and they're very like, they'll stare at you if you're white or you're black or Hispanic or a penguin or anything. When I was there, I didn't experience much because, you know, I'm Asian. However, when like I opened my mouth and then they were like, oh, foreigner, okay. But other times, you know, sometimes they treat you more like, oh, illo wa. So it's really like a hit or miss type of thing, but racism is very like real in Korea. Number 9, I wish I knew how popular cafes were because I didn't know that I'd be spending so much time in a cafe. There's just like a very distinct culture about hanging out at cafes, whether it's for studying, meeting friends, or just chilling, or just kind of resting from walking around from all the shopping. And you sometimes also find really cool boutique coffee shops. Yeah, there's just a big culture around cafes, I think. I don't really know much about them. I just know that people go there a lot. And the last thing I wish I knew was how common plastic surgery is. Yes, us North Americans recognize Korea as like a plastic surgery capital. However, the amount of people that you see with plastic surgery is so difficult to tell. Nowadays, the adjustments that a lot of people get, they're so minor, they're so small. And with some people, it's more obvious, but the trend's going towards where it's like, you can't tell. My take on plastic surgery is, it's super cool. I don't know if I'll do it. However, for those who don't like it, think of it like this. If you know a friend who has had braces, they've technically had plastic surgery because, you know, when you get braces, you restructure your bone structure in your mouth. And plastic surgery is like making adjustments to the bone structure of your face or whatever part, you know. So, yeah. Plastic surgery, Korea. And that concludes the 10 things you should know before coming to Korea. Honestly, if you've never visited Korea, you should definitely go. I 10 out of 10 recommend. You'll meet a lot of cool people, you'll make friends, and if you're handsome, when you're in Korea, you're 10 times more handsome. And if you're pretty here, you're gonna be a goddess over there. So just go visit, you'll like it. And be nice to people, and you'll be fine. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.